Okay, this is one of my blogs for the band.
What band's that, Orlando?
That would be the Alabama 3, Dave.
Alabama 2 is better.
Yeah, Alabama nil would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, thank you for that vote of confidence, Dave.
And my daughter.
Yes, thanks. All the McGowans, they're great work. It's about the time we did a little tour of Australia, and we ended up, our harmonica player at the time was also kind of dilettante artist who liked who casts the faces of criminals in bronze. And so he took advantage of the opportunity to do a death mask of Chopper Reid, who's Australia's most notorious gangland murderer.
But not dead.
But not actually dead. So it was only death mask in the former sense. It's rather long, so I might not read the whole thing, or I might chop it up into 2 parts. Okay. Cast your mind back to the last time you called up a convicted killer and said, "Excuse me, would you mind if I cover your entire head in plaster, deprive you of speech, sight and hearing, then leave you utterly defenceless and vulnerable for an hour or 2? How did that work out for you? Are you getting the hang of the physiotherapy? Blink once for yes." There's only one person on the planet who could get away with this request, with his basic motor functions intact, and that's sometime Alabama 3 math harpist Nick, who is the son of Bruce Reynolds, brains behind the great train robbery. When Nick isn't sucking on a reed for the acoustic band, he likes to cast the faces of convicted men in bronze. There aren't many clubs in Greater London area that cater for such urges. Sometimes he has to go to as far as the subcontinent in search of subjects. So when Alabama 3 toured Australia the year before last, Nick grabbed the opportunity to persuade Chopper Reid to let him stick 2 straws in his nostrils and immortalise him for posterity. Mark Brandon Reid was the son of a devout Seventh-day Adventist mother and a military father. In care up to the age of 5, he was repeatedly beaten, imprisoned and electrocuted by his family and state throughout his early life. Out of this grim forge, Chopper emerged, a walking, laughing machete, impervious to pain, others or his own. Opinions are divided as to how he got his name. Did it come from the time he had his ears sliced off in prison? Or was it his practice of amputating the toes of heroin dealers with bolt cutters? Or was he named after a 1950s cartoon character? Why don't you go and ask him? I'll look after your drink. In the early days, Chopper's modus operandi was elegant in its simplicity. He'd drop in at the local brothel and ask the resident smack dealer for all of his money. If the response was disappointing, he'd remove toes until a satisfactory payment appeared. This way he managed to avoid a lot of the time-consuming paperwork one generally has to take on board as a self-employed person running a small business. After this, he moved into the abduction game, practicing his unique skill set on key underworld players. Between the ages of 20 and 38, he spent 13 months outside prison. Chopper, from the Inside, based on letters sent from Melbourne's Pentridge prison, appeared in 1991 and sold 250,000 copies. Chopper, the movie, raised his profile still further. Now Nick Reynolds waits with Rock Freebase in a Melbourne street to bestow a final beatification. The earless assassin appears with his trademark Zapata and aviator shades. How does he keep them on? Right, sorry, this next section requires me to do an Australian accent. I'm not very good at accents, but before I came here today, a friend of mine said the best way to learn an Australian accent is to say the word encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. So I'm just going to say that a few times so I can get the accent right. Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia, mate. I want an encyclopedia, mate. Okay. Nick's going to work a bit to get El Chopo on side. He's not known for his charity work. In the hotel bar, Nick attempts to spread some butter by telling him how honoured he is to get face casts of Australia's two most legendary criminals. Two? Well, I'm one. Who's the other one? Well, it's Ned Kelly, of course. Don't compare me to that cross-dressing poof with a bucket on his head. He never had a girlfriend. Him and his gang were all fucking poofers, hanging out in the bush, bumming each other. Chopper lights a cigarette. The barmaid politely informs him that smoking isn't allowed in the bar. Thanks very much. If I see anybody smoking, I'll let them know. Now fuck off. The barmaid scuttles off and informs the manager, who takes one look at Chopper and decides to suspend company policy. How about a drink, Chop? I've got cirrhosis of the liver. My doctor said one more drink could kill me. I've got 6 months to live. Sarcopenia. Oh dear, oh dear. A little chat with Chopper isn't going well. Rock, our guitarist, who I've heard is usually very comfortable in the company of large, violent men, would rather be anywhere else right now. Chopper eyes him. What did you say, mate? Rock starts. I beg your pardon? Thought you said something. No, I didn't say anything. Yes, you did. You said something about money, didn't you? How much are you going to fucking pay me? Nick gently explains to Chopper that no cash will be involved. He's going to cast his head in bronze, so he'll be remembered for eternity. He'll get a copy. If you called Nick and commissioned one, it would cost you thousands of pounds. But I didn't fucking call you. You fucking called me. Quietly, Nick describes the illustrious pantheon Chopper's head will be joining. His napper will be displayed alongside those of the Quay Twins hatchet man, Freddie Brownbread Foreman, Howard Mr. Nice Marks, and one-man crime wave, Taters Chatham, and the Richardson's human Rottweiler, Mad Frankie Fraser. This seems to mollify him, if mollification is a procedure that could be applied to a man like Reid. So it is, the next day, a hungover Nick Reynolds is scooping grey goo over the head of a self-confessed toe cutter, with the assistance of Ian, our miles manager, who's in fact sitting right over there. He's bound in a tight black bin liner. Chopper is unhappy. Ian is terrified. 2 hours later, the last of the plastic is scraped off Chop's boat race. He launches into Ian. He's missed his parking ticket. His car's been towed. Money, now! Cash appears. He goes up to Neil, our tour manager. How many dollars you got on you? Only about 100. Cash appears. Right, you're coming with me. Where to? The fucking cash point machine. Cash appears. We're all great players on the fruit machine of life, but Chopper gets unlimited nudges every time. In seconds, his personality undergoes an amazing transformation. All smiles, Chopper tells Nick how much he respects his dad and pleads with Nick not to forget to give him a copy of The Mask. He buys a round of drinks with our own money, and we thank him. We're grateful. We're so fucking grateful. All of a sudden, it feels good to be alive. Okay, that's part.